Hi. Chapter 3, Part 2. His whole body was tingling now, because the black metal disc was gleaming with a silvery light. The 12 symbols around its circumference shimmered, shining like starlight in the black. It looked like a portal, an entryway to distant lands. The silver light within it seemed to come from somewhere far, far away. It was beautiful, so beautiful he found he was holding his breath. Time stood still before it. Lucky stopped being conscious of the crowds, the vid screens, the terminal building. All he was aware of was the mysterious object in his kit bag. He reached down to touch the cool black metal. There was such a sense of power thrumming there, just waiting to be activated, if only he knew how to work it. He ran a fingertip around its circumference, touching each of those 12 symbols in turn. Not one of them did a thing. He tried to move the dials, but they were firmly fixed in place. He searched for a lock or a clasp that might open it up, but nothing he did could make it budge. It just sat there silently shimmering at him. He must have lost track of time, because he was suddenly aware that the officer was shouting at him. Abruptly, the silver glow vanished. The black metal disc looked lifeless and dark again. "Heck!" the big man was yelling, his eyes goggling as he stared over Lucky's shoulder into the kit bag. "Is that what I think it is?" Lucky's mother was frantically shaking her head on the other side. Lucky's cheeks burned. Fumbling, he closed the bag, catching his finger in the zip as he shut it. It's nothing," he said feebly. "That was an astrolabe," said the officer. "What's a boy like you doing with an astrolabe? You know they're illegal." "Illegal?" gulped Lucky. "Of course it wasn't an astrolabe," his mother cut in, taking charge. "How could it be? When was the last time you saw one of those?" The officer's eyes were narrow. "Not since the war began, but I'd recognise one anywhere. You never forget a thing like that." He moved to grab Lucky's bag. "Are you calling me a liar?" Lucky's mother said. She threw her arms up in a great show of indignation. "How dare you? I'm not standing for this." She marched away from the ticketing desk, dragging Lucky behind her towards the exit. "Stop!" said the officer. "Stop right there." He bounded after them and seized Lucky's arms. Lucky tried to wriggle away, but the man was far too strong. He yanked him back, so hard it hurt. "Ow!" cried Lucky, falling backwards, losing his balance, feet crumpling beneath him. But he never hit the floor. His mother caught him first. She swerved round and put herself between him and the officer. "Let the boy go," she said, in an icy low voice Lucky had never heard her use before. She twisted the big man's arm just a little, and he released Lucky at once. He backed away, clutching his hand, mouth wide open in shock. Lucky stared at his mother. How did she do that? He was twice the size. But the officer's surprise was already turning to fury. "I'm going to report you to the shadow guards," he raged. "What do you think you're doing, running around with astrolabes, assaulting people? Who the heck are you, anyway?" Lucky's mother didn't say another word. She strode away in silence, dragging Lucky behind her, out of the terminal building and back into the streets. It was chaos out there. There were streams of people who'd been turned away from their flights, crowds looking up at vid screens, waiting for more news, or staring at the great red planet in the sky. On a corner of the street, a man in a crumpled suit was shouting into a megaphone. "The end times are here," he proclaimed, as Lucky and his mother rushed past him. "The end of all worlds. The devil himself walks amongst us." I'm sorry," said Lucky, as he followed his mother through milling crowds. "I'm sorry about the astrolabe." "I told you to keep that thing hidden," she said. "You never told me it was illegal," he protested. "Why is it illegal? What does it do?" She glanced up at the sky. "We have to get off Phoenix before they find us," was all she said. "The aliens?" said Lucky. "Won't the shadow guards protect us from them?" She didn't reply. She just picked up her pace. Lucky shivered. The temperature was dropping rapidly in the spaceport. Night was falling. The sky blackened and the stars came out. Ares 1 rose higher, like a great red wound in the sky. Lucky's mother led him into shadowy parts of the port, where there were few people and no vidcams. Here she found a small landing bay that housed a rusty cargo ship, with a couple of old star sailors beside it. "They might take us, if I made it worth their while," she said. "Wait here while I try." She approached the men and talked to them quietly. So quietly Lucky couldn't hear what she said. One of them didn't respond. He just stared straight ahead with empty eyes. But the other star sailor's reply was all too clear. "No way, lady. Haven't you heard the news? We ain't messing with the shadow guards, and neither should you." She hurried away from them, leading Lucky deeper into the back streets. They went from landing bay to landing bay, ship to ship, through thickening shadows, trying every craft they could find, but it was the same everywhere. No one would give them a ride. As he waited for his mother by the last of the landing bays, Lucky bit his lip, fighting down the feeling that this was all his fault. All this because of a burned bedsheet. But why? Shh. A soft hissing sound behind him, above him, set his teeth on edge. He turned round, looked up, and nearly bit his tongue off, because the crack in the sky was back. It was bigger, much bigger. It covered a whole quadrant of the sky now. It was shaped like a great black V. A sharp-edged shadow, where the night's darkness looked even darker somehow. Thicker. And all the way through it he couldn't see a single star. The stars had disappeared. Lucky wanted to say something toward his mother or cry out, but he couldn't. His mouth had gone dry, his throat constricted. Looking at the thickening shadows, he couldn't even breathe. "No luck," said his mother, returning from the landing bay. "I don't think there are any more ships." "What is that thing?" he managed to whisper, digging his nails into the palm of his hands. "What thing?" He pointed behind her, there, in the sky. The V was growing bigger, bigger and bigger. His mother breathed in sharply, then took his hand. "Quick now, Lucky," she said, already beginning to move. "Run!" End of chapter 3. This time, I wonder what you might do with that. Replay it, read it yourself. Maybe add to your astrolabe drawing. Think about what information, what ideas, what the instructions might you add to that. Or maybe look at the spaceport and draw that. Write a description of the spaceport. What does it look like? A bit like a moon base, but very busy, very busy. Thank you very much. Bye for now.